What is going on, folks? I am Goat. Welcome back to Warframe. So why in the fuck are we looking at base Wisp? Well, this is my most played frame in this game. Now, I am not a Wisp main. I used to be. Okay, just for posterity's sake here. So we go to equipment, 23.6%. Now, I play Lavos quite a lot. Used to play Nezha quite a lot. But I also have played Wukong quite a bit, Protea, Titania, Loki, Octavia. I've actually played quite a few of these frames quite a bit. And Wisp, just because you got to understand, used percentage isn't like how many kills you got, how much progress you got as far as XP or anything like that. It's time used in the missions. So I am just under double the usage, and you guys, I don't know, anybody who's been with this channel for a minute remembers how much I used to run the shit out of Nezha. And more recently, even while I was doubling down with Nezha, I was running Lavos at the same fucking time. So Lavos and Nezha being pretty close to each other isn't surprising. Now Wukong was my, like, before I really started getting into Titania, Wukong was like my super fast travel frame. And then Protea, I just think Protea is really good. But I mean, the thing of it is like, if you look at it, you know, you've got self-sufficient healer, you've got tank, you've got speed freak, you've got basically area of effect controller, another speed freak, sneaky frame, you know, it's absolute murder killer, and then just fucking map wiper. I mean, like, just those top 9 frames alone. Like, Naros Prime, honestly, is because I've farmed so many fucking isolation vaults. Not isolation vaults, corrupted vaults. And Naros used to be the frame that I used to do that with. Just because it was like, it didn't matter what fucking key hit, I would just survive, so. But I mean, we're also talking base, star chart, so on and so forth. So, but I mean, like, you can kind of see the, you know, Wisp has had a lot of usage as far as time in this game for me. And then the Fulmin. Okay, funny enough, I have used the Trumna, Bubonico, Kuva Brahma, hell, the fucking Bratton Prime, Tenor Archiplasma, Amprex. I mean, like, you can see the list of these weapons, and you guys have seen me use these weapons quite a bit. Like, the top, I don't know, 24 fucking weapons are just, like, kind of no surprise. Okay? They're just really not. Like, yeah, I mean, hell, the turret is rapidly climbing, and it's at 0.8, okay? Like the Nadaruk, I use the hell out of that thing, 1%. The Fulmin is at 14, the Trumman is at 10, the Bubonico's at 10, also at 10, okay? And then the old Archiplasma, you should run the fuck out of this thing, 5.4. Kuva Brahma was fun, just kind of blow shit up, why not? The Bratton, all that time, like I said, you know, all that time I spent trying to fucking, you know, really make something good out of the Bratton. The Amprex, I have killed a shit ton of enemies with this thing. In the grand scheme of things, not really. You know, and Tenor Archiplasma, I mean, like, just a top 8. But, like, the Wisp and the Fulmin just went hand in hand for me. So, I mean, that being said, like, this has been my girl. Whenever I've got just, like, nothing seems to be going right, I could just jump in with Wisp and the Fulmin back in the days of yesteryear and kind of do my thing. So, that being said, dear God, do we got Wisp Prime? Now, she doesn't have like a dramatic amount of buffs, okay? And you can see, like, I still have Silence on here. I have an Archon defense build, and then I have a Nourish build, and they're almost identical. Now, I have changed the shards a little bit because I gave myself just a little bit more shield capacity, just touch more energy max. And honestly, I could have gone for, like, you know, more energy effectiveness per, you know, 50% more effectiveness per energy orb, so on and so forth, because this is just like all my old builds, tank efficiency build. But yeah, like, I love the fact that everybody is talking about the Wisp nerf. First of all, the Wisp nerf is the fact that they put this cloak on her that is removable, but they put like this seeing Donna wannabe thing on her that covers her ass. That's the Wisp nerf right there. So if anybody sees it, that's what it is. I absolutely love the look of the frame. I think the helmet's fucking badass, but the beautiful part is that if you don't like it, the Dex helmet works, the Gauth helmet works, The regular Wisp helmet works. Hell, even the Sycorax works because of the cloth color is this matte color for the shroud. So like all these helmets work. It's one of the few primes when you can honestly say like all these work, so that's great. So from a fashion framer, that's a good thing. But, you know, like, the builds are the builds, you know? Like, this is my Archon defense build. The only reason that I even run Silence, because, let's be honest here, okay? First and foremost, Wisp's really only big negative downfall is her fourth ability, Soul Gate. Now, that's not to say it's a terrible ability, because it's a great procking ability, but it is it just doesn't scale at all. Like, you start getting into a couple hours of Steel Path, and it's just like you're just tickling motherfuckers with this thing after a while. Just rad procking them, call it a nice day. Now, over time, I have learned to utilize Will-O-Wisp a little bit more for just some basic survivability of getting the fuck out of bad spots and so on and so forth. Or creating a decoy. So, but honestly, Wisp's bread and butter is her first ability, and her third ability being the Reservoirs and Breach Surge, because Breach Surge is just a murderous ability. You basically blind enemies within the area, and then if you damage said enemy, they send off balls of radiation to attack the heads of other enemies, and they're blinded while this is going on. And then Reservoirs is very sustainable, especially with my build. I mean, you're talking max health on top of your normal build, 1017 additional health. And then this build heals 101.7 health per second. Plus you get a speed boost with the haste mode. So 67% speed multiplier with 101% fire rate. And if you really, really, really want to use the shock mode, it can hit up to 5 targets at a time for 100% electrical status chance. It is what it is. Now, personally, when I'm running on the Steel Path, this is the build that I actually use. So truthfully, like... well, no, I'll leave that there. I've got my reason. Little bit more duration, a little less range. The reason being is because typically you're moving. Okay, this is a more mobile style build. So this basically drop a reservoir to continue healing yourself. And then Nourish is on here to play with the radiation proc that you already get from Breach Surge, and then something that you can do with the Fulmin, and it makes it quite destructive. Now, a lot of people are going to say, oh, the Fulmin, it's, you know, it's a weaker version of, like, you know, smaller shotguns. Let's say, like the old Tenet, or the old Archoplasmor. Perfect. It's a perfect example of a lesser scaled version of that thing. Now, oddly enough, Wisp does have, you know, a little bit more. No, that's from, never mind. That's from this. Never mind. Like, she gets the same energy, same health, same shields. I know it doesn't read that way because I've got a few shards on her and things like that. But she's a very, very similar little monster to what she was as her normal frame, which is fine because Wisp as a frame is very good. Now, let's look at the base Fulmin, because this is where things start to get kind of interesting. So critical delay on here, we're talking about a, or hold on, that's fire rate, derp. So this thing has a reload or a recharge time of 0.8 seconds. Has a fire rate of 1.73 with critical delay on there. Has a fall off of 16 to 32 with terminal velocity. And yeah, that's right. So if we take terminal velocity off, it's 10 to 20. Okay. So we're just going to put that bitch back on there. So 10 to 20. With a reload time of 0.8. Right? And it's basically a shotgun or an electric machine gun. Now, this is the build that I ran with my normal Fulmin for quite a while. It's critical chance, status duration, multi-shot, ammo max. Ammo max doesn't matter because this thing is basically one battery charged magazine. So there is no ammo max. It's just a magazine. So having a negative attribute like ammo max on a Riven for the Fulmin is fucking perfect. Now, we go to the Fulmin Prime though. And yes, we'll get to the Gunsen in just a minute. The Fulmin Prime, first of all, let's just look at this fucking gun. This thing looks fucking awesome. Okay, like I think the new Wisp in herself, she's kind of jagged, which really kind of fits like the Red Veil armor set really well, which is what I've got on there for like the shoulder guards. But the Fulmin just really, really matches her fairly, you know, pretty damn well. Now, here we are. Now, we can obviously see that I have nothing here to increase this exact same ribbon. Nothing here to increase the magazine size whatsoever. They've increased it by 20, so now you get 8 full shotgun shots, which is great. Fire rate is identical. The fall off has been increased by 2, so that's good. I mean, at short range, it's very good. Now, obviously, the ribbon's doing less because right now it's a ribbon disposition 1. It will climb, but this is where, if you're running it with Wisp and Nourish, this is where things get really, really funny. Because basically you can make a pure radiation gun out of this thing because it's already a base innate electric anyway, so all you gotta do is just throw a heat mod on there, and then Stormbringer is literally just for the base damage. You don't need it, but it's fun just to add more base damage. And even at a ribbon disposition 0.5 or a 1 dot, okay, because they go 0.5, 0.75, 1, 1.25, and then 1.5. That's what each dot stands for, but I always just call them 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 because, I mean, it's the easiest way for me to remember. So this thing being a Riven Disposition 1, which is what every new release weapon gets, obviously the Riven gets nerfed a little bit. I'm alright with it. But, so the fall-off has been increased just a little bit, which is good. Magazine increased for 2 full shots better. Recharge time is 0.3 seconds faster. And then the gun is the gun. It also sounds cooler, okay? But you figure it this way, okay? So we see this build, right? We're going to see this build in a minute. But you see this build. And then you couple what my build, adding Nourish into this, really, really kind of hits home with. 64% base damage increase, a duration of 45.75 seconds, has a radius of 28.75, health increase, take that out of the equation because it's removed. Energy multiplier, so basically energy regen, and it seemingly makes enemies just drop energy a lot more, so I'm fine with that. Explosive viral damage, explosion radius, and then a 242% damage increase of viral. So now you're making a viral rad weapon with only having a radiation modded weapon, so you can basically just fully focus your build. It's really fun with Wisp because she's already doing radiation damage with Breach Surge anyway, so you're just doubling down what the fuck you're doing with it. It's just a good time. Just my opinion. Good time. Nourish on Steel Path. This is a build that I really, really like. Kuvanukor again, radiation, radiation and viral both, which I'm just going to be boosting and bumping like crazy, so it's a good time. Now, to the Gunsen. Now, a lot of people kind of sleep on the Gunsen, and the Gunsen is an interesting weapon, and it has gotten a little bit of a boost, but it's always been a status-based Warframe, which a lot of people kind of get, a little put off with status-based melees in certain respects. The Gunsen is a pretty heavy slash. Well, I mean, in comparison to Puncture and Impact, it's a very heavy slash. But in the grand scheme of things, it's a slash-based set of Warframes that just likes to kill stuff, okay? Now, that being said, I've got 3 specific builds that I used to run for the Gunsen, okay? And I haven't used a Gunsen in a while. But I had a balanced build, a stack build, and then a pure status build, okay? Now, this is the preferred build that I like to run. Okay, 64% crit with a 5 multiplier and a 95.2 status. This is giving me viral, heat, slash. Okay, technically viral slash heat. And if I bring one of these two down a little bit, I can actually make the slash be, the more prominent of the damages if I wanted to do that, but I really don't want to. Because viral's a debuff anyway. But I mean, this is a pretty straightforward build. I mean, like, there's nothing groundbreaking about this whatsoever. Now, a stack build, this is an interesting one. This is not a lot of base damage. Okay, you do have to go into that. You have to go into it understanding that. Okay, but this is a status stack, critical stack, plus slash status heavy build. Okay, because like anytime you kind of come across like the Carnus Man, the 90-60 mods from the Cambion Drift bounties or enemies. Okay, so they're like, 90% slash or 90% impact or 90% puncture. It prioritizes that status proc specifically to this mod. So if this mod is for, if I think Saxum Thorax is impact. Could be incorrect, but you know, Carnage Mandible, this one's slash and status. That 60% status chance applies to the 90% slash. Okay, so it applies to slash damage. So even though this is a 115, it's actually 95.2 with an additional status just for the slash damage. But even being the 95.2, that's fine, because Weeping Wounds, 40% status chance per combo multiplier. I love since this mod came out. Blood Rush, 40% critical chance stacks with combo multiplier. Now, you would think that that wouldn't be amazing because it's only 20, but you will start getting red crits up around the times 12 range while status proccing. It's very fun. But it is low base damage. I mean, we're talking, you know, 812 base damage, and it's mostly status that gets some critical hits in there. So just understand, it's not the most OP setup, but it's a really good status procker that can do some extra stink. And then this is kind of like what I've seen people try to do with the Gunsen over time, and this is kind of like a weak ass build. It seems like it would be just groundbreaking. Okay, like it seems like, oh fuck yeah, look at that base damage status, you know, mid-level critical multiplier, crit don't matter, blah blah blah, whatever. You know, speed. And yeah, if you do this build, does it work? Yes. It will kill. But you're going to be hacking and slashing for a minute on some motherfuckers. And again, the whole bottom fucking row is the same. It's just literally a change out on a few mods on the top. But personally, I like the balanced attack with these things. I think it works very fucking well. So, we're just gonna go have some fun. Okay? We're just gonna go do a thing here real quick, alright? Sound like a good time, doesn't it? No. Survival arbitration. Get the fuck out of here. So yeah, so I mean, like here's the thing that I just love about this. Okay, the Wisp, they changed the sound of this gun, so it no longer has like this extra cheesy stank to it, you know? Here, you know what? Come over here. Okay, what do you know? Thank you for that info. You know who you are.
Life support has been cut off. They're trying to choke you out. Hold on. I'm sending auxiliary life support.
It's got a clank to it now. Oh really? You guys think you're funny, huh? I don't know why I just hit Nourish again. Whatever. I'm dumb. Now we can come in here with the Gunsen. Start getting jiggy with it. Come here, boys. Boys and girls. I mean, like, they fucking work.
Life support on the way.
I forgot about that. Stairs of death! Stairs of death! Yes, I mean, we're getting status procs, we're getting fucking crit procs. I mean, we're getting some damage out of these babies. You know, 995,000 base damage hit in there. Come on. That's a good time. I'm still unsure about how I feel about this, about how I feel about these damage numbers popping up all over the screen like they do. It's kind of weird with melees.
I delivered a life support capsule to the area. Activating it will buy you more time.
Yeah, baby. I mean, I won't hear anybody say that the Gunsen doesn't work or my build sucks. Okay? If you don't like my build, suck it. That's what I can tell you, okay? I say the same thing every time. The builds work for me. You don't have to like the builds. They just work for me. Okay? And then part number 2 of that is really simple. I build for extremely casual gameplay. I'm not sitting here building for endurance runs or trying to just beat the fuck out of everything. That's not my style, guys. No. Oh, buddy, look, you hit yourself. That's a good time. Oh no, he died. Excuse me, stop that. This pure radiation,
Ready for a capsule.
coupled with throwing nourish in here, it just makes it so silly. Good time. Well, fine, fine. You dickheads want to congregate over here? Oh, look, another blind man. Just meandering. Oh, look, a ribbon sliver. I'll take that. Thank you. Well, I kind of do want that.
Another life support capsule is now available.
Who we got? Who we got? Angst? Really? Hi, Angst. How you doing? Sucks being blind, doesn't it? Dude, people... It cracks me up that people get so confused with, you know, running Wisp on the steel path. And the funny thing is like, Wisp is actually like one of the easiest frames to want to run on the steel path once you get accustomed to how she functions. Because this bitch literally just does not care about an acolyte. As long as you can cast Breach Surge before Violence can cast Silence, you're gonna kill Violence in the exact same fucking way because the bitch is gonna be blind. Just a good time. Okay, wasn't meaning to do that. It was meaning to do that. Thank you. Hey, hold on. Fuck you bitches. Hey, everybody be blind. And be red rocked. And hey, you know what? Here, let's throw some viral in there. Just fuck all you hoes. Oh no. Oh, sucks to suck. I love the fact that I literally threw two health reservoirs down there. Hey, how you doing? Oh no, suck to suck. Like, do you need the Fulmin Prime or Wisp Prime? No. You can literally do this exact same thing, this exact same build. It's more Forma. Because she did get a little polarity love, thank God. Because like Wisp Prime is
This will help our cause.
4 Forma compared to my normal Wisp is 6 Forma, and it's the exact same build. And yes, it's 2 Umbra Forma. This bitch is absolutely worth it. I've got 2 Umbra Forma in my other Wisp, which is honestly why I'm keeping her. It's one of those, you know what? Oh, my God, I'm being a complete dork. I cannot bring myself to get rid of Wisp.
They fought well.
Wisp is layers upon layers upon layers of survivability, okay? In the grand scheme of things, that is exactly what Wisp is. She is just layers and layers of survivability. And the reason is very simple. When you jump and aim glide, you are invisible as long as you're not attacking. That's 1. 2, she can blind people. It's good time. Okay? 3, she can heal herself. 4, she can shock motherfuckers and stagger them and keep them away from people. And by the, you know, the blinding also, if you shoot the bastards, you end up killing said bastards at the same time. So in the grand scheme of things, base Wisp and the base Fulmin, like base Fulmin is okay. Fulmin Prime, much better. Even with the nerfed out, you know, being the lower Riven disposition at the moment, even with the nerfed out Riven disposition, obviously you see the production of this fucking thing. So it's actually, it's working just fine and dandy. So I'm not upset with this gun whatsoever. I mean, is it like a Tenet Archiplasmor? No, but you know what? You have to reload the Tenet Archiplasmor. You know, you have to pick up ammo for the Tenet Archiplasmor. The Fulmin's battery charged, okay? And the Fulmin turns into a fucking electric machine, well, a machine gun too, if you need it to. So, I don't know, man. I mean, Wisp Prime, fucking win. Yeah, absolute win. Fulmin Prime, pretty, just absolute fucking upgrade from the original Fulmin. The Gunsen Prime functions quite well. Like, I literally just threw my builds on there, and I don't know if anybody saw, but those were all no Forma on the Gunsen. No Forma whatsoever. So it's basically stick a potato on that bitch, throw your mods on there, have a good fucking time. Unless you're going for like a condition overload blood rush kind of build. you know, or a condition overload pure status build. I mean, there's ways to go about it, obviously, but, you know, I mean, I think personally, just the way I build them works fine for me. And like I said, I don't mean to sound so hostile about the whole if you don't like my build you can suck it thing, but over, you know, the course of 3.5 years of doing this, I've had a few people go, your builds are bad. Well, that's fine. I'm glad that you think my builds are bad. My builds are just fine and fucking dandy for me. The last one that I had was on the hate video, me saying it's alright, which obviously I'm red critting the shit out of everything I'm fucking hitting with that goddamn thing. My whole thing with the hate being alright was more to the fact of the hate's alright because in general incarnate melees are alright because there's no information about what the fuck they're doing. Okay, there's no realistic information about what the fuck they do other than here's some boosted numbers. We have no idea. We're not going to tell you. It's like a big secret what the incarnate form is, which is where I have the problem. But if you don't like my builds, give me a reason. Give me hell, you tell me what your build is in the comments. I am happy to listen. I'm happy to listen to critiquing. Look at where my camera position is. That was from multiple people critiquing, asking, hey, can you move your fucking camera down to the bottom left side so we can actually see the health numbers and things like that? And I'm totally fucking fine with that, man. I try to do what I can to appease and make things better for you guys. But don't come at me with, oh, your builds are bad. Then why am I killing? You know, it's my playstyle, right? It doesn't have to fit your playstyle, it just fits my playstyle. So I might like a weapon that you guys think is trash, and that's totally fine. I have no problem with that. You know, I might think that a weapon that's total fucking dog shit is something you fucking love, and I don't mean any disrespect by that. It's just something that doesn't fit my playstyle, right? But if it fits yours, that's what matters, because as long as you're having a good time, I'm having a good time for you. I'm happy for you. So, end of speech, end of spiel. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Yeah. Dude, Wisp Prime, Fulmin Prime, Gunsen Prime. Hell of a setup. I mean, like, personally, I've got a Riven Sci-Fi build, so I really like running the Sci-Fi. But I've been running the Fulmin with Wisp ever since I got her. Like, with Wisp Prime. So, Fulmin Prime, Wisp Prime. It's a heck of a combo. And then just the Kuvanuko for a secondary. And then I've been running a very, very high critical statted Riven on the Sci-Fi, which has been kind of thumping away here pretty good lately. So it's kind of the deal. So folks, I want to thank you very much for watching. As always, we'll catch you in the next one. All right.